That night, the police pushed, and when they pushed, we pushed back. It was no more. Coming on the 50th anniversary of Stonewall, I don't think I would have ever expected all of this hoopla that's surrounding us right now. Behind me is the bar, which on the night of June 27/28th, 1969, as an 18-year-old, I was inside of. Police came in, I should say barged in, started throwing people or tossing people up against the wall. Eventually, there were more of us outside the bar than them inside the bar, because you only had 6 police officers and the people who worked at the bar. The spirit of Stonewall went from that night all the way through the first, what we called Christopher Street Liberation Day. During that whole first year was the first time that this community was out loud and in your face. We were no longer going to be invisible. And we weren't going to march just one day a year. We were going to march and be out every single day of the year.
So it really is, I can see through time here, this is the site of the beginning of our new history, where we decided to take up a torch and to begin again and to demand our civil rights. People do not understand the fear that we lived in 1969. If you were in the wrong clothing, you were going to be pulled aside, stripped probably by the police, by a woman police officer, and sent to jail. Even if you weren't arrested, they could call your parents, your employer, your school, and tell them that you had been in a lesbian bar, and because of that, you could lose everything. When we walked up 6th Avenue and other streets that first June day, and we said, join us, we didn't know that the world would join us and be proud. But so many people did that it has changed the way that people grow up in this country. This was our greatest achievement, to have the generations after us not grow up in silence, isolation, and shame the way that I grew up.
Thank you all so much for coming, and thank you to the New York Historical Society for hosting the Generations Project. Our mission is to preserve the history of the LGBTQ movement through live storytelling and live story sharing.
We're not taught LGBT history in schools, our families don't often teach it to us, and it's certainly not given to us when we come to terms with being gay or LGBTQ or an ally, so how are we supposed to learn it?
It wasn't until I left the service and came to New York that I didn't know that I had homosexual tendencies. I really didn't, because I couldn't come out the closet. That closet was locked.
I had plenty of sex when I was a kid, because all you had to do was hitchhike, and a man would stop and pick you up, and you had sex in the car.
I think the people who are at Stonewall would be really proud of the movement of where and where it has come today.
The 18-year-old me would have never expected that we would be where we are today. I wouldn't have thought about gays in the military, being able to marry, having a presidential candidate pop into a gay bar. We are now visible. The gay rights movement is important because we are your sisters, your brothers, your uncles, your aunts, and your cousins. So the gay movement gives voice to those people who are trying to end invisibility. I think we've done a good job over the last 50 years.
I do know what happened should not have happened. The actions taken by the NYPD were wrong, plain and simple.